Hey everybody, it's Travis speaking. If you've been following along with us, in the last video we took a look at cleaning up our browser organization uh, using some updated view templates that we transferred over using the Imaginate utilities, the model updater tool. So since then we've cleaned up the view templates. We had a pretty long list here. I took out all the duplicates and the ones that weren't desired. One of the things that I want to do here is get a little bit better idea as to what's going on with my schedule. So I'm just going back to the schedule here that I have. I've got this door schedule in here, and we'll look at it. It's, I got stuff like this, and this is something that you see happen when people say window tile, like WT, they want to get from here to here. That's okay if you're in a 3D view or an orthographic view, but when you type that in, when you're in a schedule, you actually end up changing a parameter or the label that you're trying to see. So this schedule's got to go. The rest of this, one of the things, the fallout that you can see, something that we did in our last video was we deleted a project stage parameter. So my view list has become a little less organized. So I need to go back to that and say sort by project stage again, right? But because we took that out, we need to add it back in here. So I'm going to add that in, format it as a hidden field, but then I'm going to use that to sort, and then I'll say by type. We'll put a footer in there. And now that's kind of back to where we had it before. Okay, so really what we're trying to do here is replace some of the doors. So if I go to this 3D view that I don't have a view template on, isolate all the physical categories and then just leave the doors on, I'll go to my links as well, shut those all off, and then we're just left with what we're seeing here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that view that way because that's going to make life pretty easy for me to change these doors over. Now if we go back to, not the view list, but the door schedule, I said this door schedule wasn't really what I wanted to use. Now part of the reason why I don't want it is because a bunch of these doors that are currently in there, they don't have specific parameters that I want. So right now this is kind of disconnected. It's not working for the entirety of the door library that's within this project. So I have to make this more homogeneous essentially. So I have some files that I'm going to bring in here. I'm going to go looking for those, try to get those as quickly as possible. So let's take a look at that. Now, I'm working in 2026. I haven't upgraded my family library, but I do have them in 2024, so we'll go back to that. It's the most current. And we'll just look at our door library here. So I'm going to go get my hollow metal frames here first. So we've got a half glass, and we have a flush panel in there. So load those two. And then there's a couple curtain wall panel types in here as well. So curtain wall swing, we've got an X single and a double, and we'll do the Y single and double as well. So I'm bringing all four of those in. It says that there's already a panel Y in there. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to overwrite it and its parameter values because it's probably not the same. And we'll do that as well over here. Now what that means is that any of those doors that I'm overwriting, they're already in the project, so I won't really have to worry about those. Now that's probably these guys here, double panel door AL. Yeah, okay, no, never mind, that's not the one. Now you can go to your schedule, right? I said it was panel Y, I believe. I'm not seeing it in here. And the other thing that I'm seeing in here is a bunch of doors from the Revit link. Okay, so I'm going to just go to my fields and take out the link stuff so that I'm just looking at these guys. Now, this should go pretty quick, all right? I've got these ones here. It says single panel door, hollow metal, D, panel D. I'm not sure what the D, panel D means, but it says 960 by 2200. I have something very similar. So I am going to use my select all instances in project, and that gives me 14 of those. And now I'm going to go in search of the panel. The one that I'm looking for is flush, so I'm going to type flush in there. And they're singles. It's a standard with the drywall frame. Okay. Now, before I go ahead and do that, I'm just going to take a look. This one here is on level 1. And the reason why I'm not making a change here yet is because I've got to see what happens when I change one of these. Okay, so type in flush again. What I'm trying to see is my swing going to change? Because if somebody went to, you know, the effort to put the swing in the right direction, I don't want to undo that. Okay, so I'm using this one, standard drywall frame. Now notice that has made that switch, so I've got to bring that back one time. What that means is I hit my space bar once to get these back to where they should be. That's what I've got to do with the other ones. So that one's changed, but these guys, there should be 13 left. When I go back and replace them, we'll go to, now you see they all got a little bit shorter, but if I come back over here to my plan view, I should see those doors all selected. And if I hit the space bar once, they should flip back into the orientation that I want. Okay, so very important. You can't just change the type. You need to see what's happening to the door, because the creator of one door could have been different than the creator of the other one, and they may have done things a little bit differently. So those are done. And I'll hit HH to hide those and move on with the next one. So here's another type, 960 by 2200. It's saying it's hollow metal. I think what this probably means is that it's a wood door with a hollow metal frame. Let's take a quick look. So type mark D. Yeah, see, these parameters are not type parameters. So I'm back over here. Now it says varies there. Let's just see if we grab that. So all the information is basically right here. Well, I'm going to grab all these. Oh, that's interesting too. Is that 2 doors? Or there should only be 1? Interesting. Okay, well, one of those doesn't need to be there. Okay. So select all of these, and essentially I think I'm going to just be making these the same thing as the other ones that we chose. Okay, so 960, it's our same flush panel, flush single. It's in a drywall frame, so that's what I'm going for, and then I need to hit my space bar. It's like in this situation twice. Okay. Now if I go back to 3D, grab these ones, select all instances, we're going to hide those. So basically what I'm trying to do is see no more doors in this 3D view. Okay. So here we have door B. This is what, well, actually I need to go get another door here. Low family, metal frame. It's a standard frame with 2 panels of glass. Looks like I've missed a couple other ones here, so I'm going to say full light and narrow light. Get those guys in there. These, how many of these do we have? So these would be my 2 panel. So just typing that in. Again, I'm familiar with, you know, the library nomenclature. So for this one, it's not really telling me what the application is, but I'm seeing these are These are up on level 2. Let's go find out. Okay, so these are interior application. They're on a, you know, if you take a look at this quickly, that looks like a masonry frame to me. And yeah, it actually says masonry frame in here in the parameters. So you can get a sense as to why this exercise is important, because people just pull doors in from wherever, and that's not actually what that frame is going to look like. So with all those selected, I'm going to go in and type in my 2 panel, and I'm looking for a double with a standard drywall, and that should center that. And then again, seeing where that goes, I just got to flip that twice, and these ones are set to 45s. These are 90. We have that functionality in there, but typically I use a 45 to show that it's existing to remain, or if the plan is just too tight for it, right? So now we can go to these ones, select all HH, get rid of those. It looks like I maybe missed another door. 3 panel glass. Okay, so I'm going to type in 3 panel, and again now I can assume that this is single, but it's also on drywall as well. Okay. Now, what I did not do, let's take a, just make sure I get the right swing in there. Select all HH. Okay, so you can kind of see where this is going. So I'm just going to pause the video, wrap this up, and then we'll take a look at how we take care of this in the schedule. So we'll leave it there. Okay, so I have switched these all over, save a couple of them. A couple of them required a little bit more modeling than what I would have liked, but I'm going to actually demo that here too, just to show you. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this one here and this one here. It's a single panel door AL, single panel door AL. This is fine. When we look at this floor plan, right, these are a basic wall hosted door. My door that is set up for this is not set up for basic wall, it's set up for curtain wall. So I would need to basically make sure that my curtain wall that I'm going to host into has the exact same dimensions as this door, which is 960 by 2200. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my reference plane option and I'll mirror that across the center so that I know exactly where this needs to be. And then I'm going to delete this one, just keeping in mind that it's a double panel aluminum door. And then I need to draw in a little piece of curtain wall. And what do I have in here? I've got one that says freeform, so I'm going to go with that and draw it from one side to the other. And then make sure that it's an unconnected height of 2200, the way that it's said before. So now I have just basically a piece of glass, right? But now, if I select that wall, type BX, or use the selection tool, ooh, it's not showing up. Okay, why might that be? Let's see. Remember, we took everything out of here, so we would need to bring walls back. Now that I've got walls back, I can see there it is, and I just need to get that panel. Yeah, I guess if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need the curtain wall panels and the mullions on there. So now I can grab panel, type UP to unpin that, and then I can go in and I'm looking for, I believe it's panel Y. It's panel Y double. Type 3. Let's go with that one. Okay, perfect. So now I actually have the door that I want that works with my schedule. If we come back to the schedule, you can see there's a little bit more order to this, but this isn't the schedule that I'm keeping. I'm just wondering, do I have all of them? This guy right here seems a little bit off to me. If I say highlight and model, there's a single. So I'm going to just do the same thing. RP for reference planes. I don't need these reference planes after, you know, like I can come back and take them out. They were just to basically give me the length, because with the curtain wall door, it's instance based, right? So again, we can remove this, type WA, get my wall in there. This time you can see the panel is on the other side. Not sure if you guys noticed that, but if I take my wall and just hit the space bar, I'll get it in the same direction. Unpin that panel, and then type in panel Y again, and then this time it's single. And let's see. So last time I hit the shortcut very quickly. If I do it this way, I'm going to go back to modify tab, and this is the selection box tool, and I'll just bring that up. I can see that, so that's what I'm after. Did I get the 22? No, I didn't. See, it's a very tall door. I want to make it unconnected. 2200 makes it a little more, make a little more sense. Okay, so now this door schedule is all seeming to come together a little bit better. These type 3s, that's fine. Type 3, I think that's it. Now, again, this stuff isn't populating the way that I would like, not on all of them, and I believe that's because of these, the different parameters in this schedule. So again, if we go to the fields, you might see the door height schedule. There may be a couple of these in here. Like if I added, let me say I go to height, and I add door height schedule to that, then beside door height schedule and height, you see there's actually the same parameters, but this one's missing, right? So that's a way for me to identify a rogue door that I couldn't get before. So now I'll select that, hit highlight and model, and it's showing me exactly where that has to be. So that's just that would be my 2-panel, but a thermally broken option. So I'll type in 2-panel, it's a single, it's thermally broken, changes my swing, and now I can see I've got something a little bit better in here. And one of the things that we've done for this type of door is we've built in thresholds. So if we switch this over to 3D, do the same thing as we did before, just hit BX, and then we can focus on this from the outside, right? So am I looking at this in the right direction? That should be the outside. Switch that around, and now you can see where my threshold is. This is covering that up. And if I needed to, we've got a parameter in here called exterior drop. We could make that a little bit longer if we needed to, and if we needed to push that out, we could as well. I think that would be, this parameter pushes that out if we needed it. So we've got some flexibility. These are quite well developed. We've been putting them together for quite some time. So if you have any questions on these, drop a comment. Visit the website. We're currently selling these doors at a discount with 15% until the end of the summer. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.